Alrighty, it is away. This is absolutely impossible light activity. My shadow is appearing. First of all, the position of the light. It's appearing out of nowhere. This is all shade. Second of all, this is creating my shadow as light is manifesting, shooting through the air and projecting my shadow at a distance away from me. This is impossible light. It's not sunlight. Okay? This is all shade. This is how you're recognizing targeting. This is how you're recognizing how the Nephilim are unintelligent, because they've also admitted that they're stalking, while a fake sun, which is not the explanation for projected light into buildings on ceilings and whatnot, but that's the entity that places its fake sun as you document the evidence of a population stalking you, and that population is demon possessed, and this is how they engage in stalking with light, the mentally ill behavior shared by a corrupt entity that includes the people of the state in the US where you're under surveillance. Okay, it's like I stated, 7:55 in the morning. You'll recall my documentation where the entity is keeping the fake sun over me at the Arco at 434 North Euclid Avenue, and the entity is stalking by hovering over that parking lot of 434 North Euclid Avenue, where the entity is gang stalking just like they are now under a fake sun that's in a position that is impossible to coexist with being literally on the opposite side of my person. And as you see, the fake sun is here as I'm facing what is east. It is not back here facing in the direction west. The sun is not an ubiquitous object. In other words, everywhere, all the time, all day, like my documentation shows, I am subject to what is a fake sun. Also relevant analysis is that this is the Ontario Airport Inn. This is G Street. The entity, and it is not Arco. It is not the 537 North Euclid Avenue, where the Ontario police are stalking me by helicopter at 7:35 in the morning, and again at 8:27 in the morning while I remain at that bus stop at F Street and Euclid Avenue. But it is, however, where I stayed at the Ramada by Wyndham, and this fake sun at this hotel over my hotel room as I'm documenting at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm on the second floor of what is 1841 East G Street, Ramada by Wyndham. Wyndham is a gang stalking corrupt company. And not only that, remember, I'm at this hotel at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening. And what are you looking at? Stalking by a population of demons that are keeping my vagina under surveillance. In the state of California, 9SSW030 is keeping me under surveillance as an entity while I'm at the adjacent venue, where the entity is stalking with light that's inexplicable, shooting through the air and doing so while everything else is covered in shade, which is a means of stalking with light, and it's psychopathic, and it's associated with the mentally ill whose mental illness is no longer closeted. In addition, the fake sun, not the natural environment, where the sun is not sitting at the same address such that it's in alignment to my hotel room as I'm standing on this second floor, and the entity has a fake sun in alignment to me where I showed you impossible light activity inside of my hotel room. All right, it's 7:55 in the morning. It's currently 7:57 a.m. This is the pattern of conduct. 9 EGN 533. What else did you document? The Ontario police stalking me by helicopter right here. At 12:51 in the afternoon, we're San Bernardino County, the one that's engaged in criminal defamation with the entity that's in criminal surveillance. That's the entity prosecuted. The pattern of conduct by Mike Lorenz is exposed in the specific environment that is science is prosecuting that terrorist who was going to prison for conspiring my murder with the population. That includes corrupt businesses that are engaging in surveillance in California. And they're going to the extremes of keeping my vagina under surveillance inside of a private space, which is what is represented under the law, where a third-party innkeeper, not a private business, is sharing in surveillance. Proven by a fake sun over that establishment. Impossible light so that the gang stalkers that are going for going for breakfast, going to the venue, in traffic on the roads and the highways are sharing in surveillance, and you prosecute all of them because they're all idiots under a fake sun. And it's the corrupt government that failed in sacrificing me, and they also failed it in public before everyone. This is P.O.C. It's 7:58 a.m. The entity is keeping a fake sun while I am walking on September 1st, 2025 to this venue, and I'm standing here at 2:44 a.m. and the entity has the fake sun over the top of my head right here. This is all evidence that's already sitting on the record. This is where the entity is maintaining the pattern of conduct, and I am subject to the pattern of conduct where the entity is calling me a racial epithet right here at this driveway at Ontario Airport Inn while she's both stalking. You're understanding demons. Nothing other than their audible activity while they want to communicate whatever, whether it's obsession, admitting that they're stalkers, or speaking what are racial epithets, what are supposedly insults when they're obsessively stalking you. Okay, that's again the entity that's maintaining that pattern of conduct. This is 1801 East G Street. The sun is not over Arco at 434 North Euclid Avenue. It is not over the Ontario Town Square at 224 North Euclid Avenue. It is not going to be at the same address on the same street in alignment to the same person. Not a coincidence. It's also not the natural environment where it is at the end of the day still in alignment to me at this venue, nor beside it at the adjacent venue. This is the pattern of conduct under all circumstances, under all forms of analysis. Okay? This whole hotel is keeping my vagina under surveillance. They're sex offenders. And so is the business. This is P.O.C.